If you own a Samsung Bespoke combo washer and dryer, there are a few maintenance practices I think you should follow, and if your clothes aren't drying like they should, I did find one key area to check for extreme lint buildup that we're going to cover in this video along with everything else. The first thing that I want to show you is just to simply pull the filter cartridge out and clean it. You should wipe it down every 1 or 2 loads. Remember though that it also needs washed fully in the sink every 30 loads with hot running water. This is especially true if you use dryer sheets or fabric softener. Often you can get buildup without seeing it, even in spite of cleaning and wiping the cartridge of lint during your typical operations. So if you have any issues, make sure to give it a good wash in your sink. After this, every few months, I would inspect the lint filter housing and clean it out with a vacuum cleaner that has a flexible hose and maybe even a brush, although I did not use a brush in this particular video. After this, once you have that done, you want to clean the drain filter out every 6 months or so. To do that, you need to access the panel at the very bottom and then remove the left tray once you have that panel open. Behind that left tray, you're going to see the drain pump and clean out twist cap on the pump. There is a rubber hose on the left side that you want to use to get all the water out before you unscrew it though. Take a plastic bottle, then unscrew the plastic cap on the end of the rubber hose. It will start draining all the water that's hidden inside the machine before you open the drain up. This could take a while, but the narrow mouth of the bottle I found helps you get all the water out pretty easily. You may need to dump it 2 or 3 times though. Once you have all the water out of this hose and it won't drip anymore, unscrew the cap to the drain pump and check the filter housing for any debris or lint that could cause the pump to get damaged over time. Even though this unit is only about 3 months old, the filter actually had a lot of lint in it. The pump again needs to be cleaned out about every 6 months if you want to keep it long running, because the pump tends to be the first thing that breaks on any of these front load washer dryer machines. With the tray system exposed, you can remove this small blue tray that the dispensers lead into. Over time, you can get a lot of buildup of leaked detergents here, and it's very easy to just pull this out and clean this small unit. But more importantly, if you didn't notice it, these dispensers actually need cleaned as well periodically. They can get clogged with detergents, which will prevent your clothes from getting washed properly. On the outer side of each dispenser, there is an arrow that you can pry up with your finger that will allow you to open the lid up to inspect and clean the dispensing systems from the inside out. Oftentimes, if you aren't getting the detergent you expect to fill the drum, this could be the problem that you have and how to solve it by simply cleaning it out in your kitchen sink. Next, let's go after that hidden area that I mentioned at the very beginning of the video in case you still have some issues. To remove the top of the combo, remove the 2 screws from the areas as noted on the left and right sides. Once you have the screws out, press the panel rearward and then up to remove the top of the unit. From here you can view the heat pump system, but the key area we want to look at is directly behind where the filter is. To access this area, remove the hose from the housing and away from the system. There are 2 hoses that will cross this area potentially. Then once you remove them, there are 3 Phillips head screws that need taken out that hold the plastic housing on. Make sure you have a magnetic screwdriver. These should not fall away from the unit because they'd be hard to get a hold of. 2 of these screws are going to be oriented horizontally, and then 1 is going to be vertical just for reference. Once you have those off, I'm going to use a needle nose plier and remove this hose from the coil wash system that will give us a little bit more access to the 2 clips that hold this filter housing area in. Once the hose is moved, you can see a plastic arm here that holds the housing in place. You need to press this on the right side to unhook it from the housing, and there's an identical one that's a little bit harder to get to on the left side as well. Talking about more room to access this, you may want to remove the wire harnesses here that surround the plastic filter area. They can be moved easily from their retainers to give you more access to the filter housing system. I had to do it to access the clip on this left side. You'll then need to use a long flat-bladed screwdriver to pop the other retainer away. Hard to show on camera, but somewhat easy to do. Once you have this other clip popped, it will allow you to have deep access to the filter area where we saw a huge amount of lint buildup that caused this machine not to work anymore. This is as good of a view as I can give you on this area of the machine with the camera that I have. You're going to notice that despite using the vacuum earlier in the video, there's still buildup here, and this is a relatively new machine that failed. There's a lot of buildup here, and I've heard other owners having an issue with a ball of lint here that needs cleaned out. So if you have any issues, this is where you want to look. because this area will go deep into the wash tub itself and is rather easy to clean given the style of machine. Once you have it cleaned all the way, you're going to put the housing back into place and snap the 2 retaining fingers into place. The one on this side's tricky, but once done, you're then going to reattach all the wires to the harnesses as needed. Snap the other side back and then reattach the hose and 3 screws on the housing assembly like you see here in the video. And you're kind of done with most of that. But one thing that I want to call to final attention is the coil wash system. There's a distributor here that can be cleaned. There's 1 screw on the right side, and then you can just pull the distributor. It's possible that minerals could build up and require you to clean this. It will also give you a little bit of area to inspect the top of the coils, but it's not too easy to look at. The machine's too new to really need cleaned here, but it will be super easy to clean or replace if you needed to. When putting this piece off, you're probably going to need to press downward and then in so it fits right. But when you do this, make sure that the thin rubber gasket on the outside does not roll up on the bottom side when you press it in. It could cause this small thin gasket to ball up and cause a leak due to an improper reinstallation, so you do want to be aware of that when you put it in. With all of that out of the way, I'm going to reassemble everything on the back of the unit. The coil wash distribution center, the rubber hose that feeds into the coil system, and then make sure all the other wires and screws are placed properly and securely. Once I have all that in place, I'm going to go ahead and put the lid back on. It just slots into place and presses forward into the front of the unit and put the screws back in. I have one final maintenance idea for you though that will help you with lint buildup or other issues with the system. The last thing would be to use the product care setting on the unit. You need to run this about every 50 washes as this will purge the unit of any nasty buildup, whether it's lint or fabric softener or detergent buildup. And to get to that, simply scroll down to the very bottom of the product care mode and press the button to start. You don't want to run this with clothes in it, and it does take between 4 and 6 hours to run. My opinion is that you should use the Samsung SmartThings app on your phone to schedule it to run when you're asleep or at work, as it will reduce the inconvenience to you. These are all the basic maintenance tips I have for you, and that one possible problem area to look at. We've seen those buildups on other units, and I thought this would be an easy video to shoot to show you exactly where to look at. I hope you have a wonderful day. Make sure to check the links in the description for the cleaning products we used in the video. It helps support the channel if you purchase from the links, and I hope you have a great day and have a long life on your Samsung combo washer and dryer.